guys, what's up? Hold on one sec. Okay. Yeah, your ears weren't fooling you. That was some Michael Jackson I was playing in the background. So what are you going to do about it? Nothing. I'm just kidding. But anyway, what I want to talk about, I had one of my subscribers or friends on my YouTube asking me about indie wrestling. And am I aware of indie wrestling promotions, and do I like them, what I think about them? And I thought, I'd come on here and answer his questions or whatever. Since, most of my videos that you look at, they're probably about, most videos that you see me make, whether it's a rant or, a review, it's always something pertaining to WWE or TNA. But I am very well aware of other indie wrestling shows because me as a wrestling fan, I pay attention to all that stuff, and I enjoy indie wrestling just as much as I would a WWE or TNA show or pay-per-view. So I'm just going to go down the list of some wrestling promotions, indie wrestling promotions that I like and don't really care for, and tell you my thoughts and things about them. So the first one I have is CZW. Never really liked CZW. They just, I don't know, how could I explain Combat Zone wrestling? CZW to me is a cheap knockoff of ECW. And when I say ECW, if you're a kid watching this, I'm not talking about extremely crappy wrestling by WWE. I'm talking about the original Extreme Championship Wrestling ran by the evil genius himself, Paul Heyman. CZW was a cheap knockoff of ECW to me. I always thought they have been. None of their pay-per-views are great. Their talent was a bit lackluster to me. The only thing that kept me in tune to CZW was Chris Hero. He was the only person that kept me in tune with CZW. That's it. I was excited when he became the world champ, but I think his championship run was kind of big crappy. But that's nothing against Chris Hero. But once Chris Hero left CZW, my interest in the company left right along once he left. That's the only reason why I watched CZW was because of Chris Hero, and he became the world champ there. But other than that, I think CZW is a cheap knockoff of ECW. And in this day and age in wrestling, I think that a whole extreme type of thing where people are getting slammed through tables, through thumbtacks, get slammed through tables that's on fire with thumbtacks on it. I think people are kind of like gone past those days now. I think CZW style, it only, I guess, catered to a very, very small portion or percentage of some wrestling fans. And it may fill the void for some of the original ECW fans. I know for me it doesn't. I think ECW was the only promotion, that really took wrestling extreme and made it hardcore, and that catered to a decent wrestling audience. So that's my thoughts about CZW. Never liked it, never will like it. Like I said, the only thing that kept me in tune with it was Chris Hero. And, once he became world champ or whatever and left CZW, I left there. The other indie wrestling show I want to talk about, too, was Full Impact Pro Wrestling. Full Impact Pro Wrestling, I have to be honest, I used to watch them quite a lot, like around the same time I had watched Ring of Honor. But for the last 3 years, I just kind of stopped following and, what's going on with them. To me, Full Impact Pro Wrestling, they kind of remind me of they're kind of like the to me, they're kind of like a UFC version of wrestling. I don't know why, I just get that type of feeling from them. It's one thing I do like about them. I love their world title. The world title is sick. But yes, but some good wrestlers, from Ring of Honor, have come from Full Impact Pro Wrestling. Like I said, I stopped following them for the last 2 to 3 years. And that time, didn't know if they still existed or not, but surely enough, they still exist, and still up and running. And I recently heard something about FIP doing like a partnership with Dragon Gate USA. So that'll be interesting, and so they'll be doing a talent exchange. So watching Dragon Gate will, I guess, it'll reintroduce me back to FIP because I haven't followed those guys in the last 2 or 3 years, like I said. Another indie wrestling promotion I'd also follow too is excuse me, Dragon Gate USA and Dragon Gate Japan, Pro Japan. A lot of talented, workers. Well, Japanese are some of the best wrestlers. Excuse me. I think, in my opinion, I think even the man scientist. I watched one of his videos where he was talking about, I think Japanese wrestlers. How he says like WWE should capitalize on the Japanese market, and how they're so unutilized here in America, but there's some really great talent. I totally agree with that. I think Japan has a lot of great wrestlers come from there, whether it's Dragon Gate USA or Dragon Gate Japan. Fantastic, phenomenal talent there. I watch all their stuff there. Haven't watched Dragon Gate USA in a while. Hasn't been that long, maybe like 6 months tops. I haven't watched Dragon Gate USA. And they're just starting up and coming really. So I watched Dragon Gate USA, but not as religiously as like most people. So I'm kind of get back in the swing of that. Although Dragon Gate Japan, that's not an indie show like Dragon Gate USA. That's legit actual wrestling company. But still, just giving you guys my thoughts and inputs on other wrestling companies beyond TNA and WWE. Another wrestling indie show to talk about is PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. My thoughts on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Same thoughts I have towards CZW. Not the fact that Pro Wrestling Guerrilla is an extreme type of wrestling gimmick like CZW, but the only thing that kept me interested in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and had me watching it were 3 people, and that was CM Punk, Chris Hero, and Davey Richards. Those were the 3 guys that kept me around to watch Pro Wrestling Guerrilla once again. Never really got into that product that much. I don't know, I just couldn't really get into their product. I mean, I support them. I prefer them over CZW, but the same reason why the only thing that kept me watching CZW was because of Chris Hero. Same thing that kept me watching for PWG was because of Chris Hero, CM Punk, and Davey Richards. And I think, and also Daniel Bryan too. I think he also came from PWG as well, if memory serves me right. But yeah, and then the other indie show, which are, well, they're no longer an indie show anymore, but I followed them since their days, since they established themselves back in 2002 or 3, and that is ROH, Ring of Honor. Like I said, I've watched a lot of independent wrestling programs here, from the United States. I've seen other indie shows like, from the UK, which I think is IWA, which is where Sheamus had got like his first niche from. So Sheamus came from before he crossed over here into the WWE and got contacted by WWE. I've watched other indie shows here in America and abroad, but one I have to say I've been really like loyal and faithful to, and that's Ring of Honor Wrestling. And I don't know, Ring of Honor has like, they really have the best talent. And a lot of the guys that I had mentioned that came from PWG and CZW have come, into Ring of Honor, and just really great talent. I think that's one of the reasons why I think I've always stayed such a loyal fan to Ring of Honor, because just the pool of talent that they've always had. I mean, you look at all the guys from TNA and the couple of guys that have in WWE all started their roots, all point back to ROH. Guys like CM Punk, Evan Bourne, Daniel Bryan. I think Wade Barrett was there too for a quick minute. Wade Barrett, Beer Money, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and even some current guys now, Davey Richards and El Generico. The Briscoe brothers, World's Greatest Tag Team. You know, Ring of Honor to me, they've always, like when wrestlers, like when certain wrestlers leave Ring of Honor to go to TNA or WWE, they always bring in, Ring of Honor have always had the ability to bring in more great talent to fill in those spots and voids of previous talent that were there, but were no longer associated with Ring of Honor. You know, other guys too that's coming to my mind now from Ring of Honor, like Austin Aries. Jerry Lynn did work in Ring of Honor, but he's not like a Ring of Honor original guy though. But you know, Austin Aries. Trying to think some other guys here. Austin Aries. I mentioned Daniel Bryan. It's kind of hard to think about a lot of guys on top of my head. Tyler Black. You know, so Roderick Strong. So just a lot of great talent. You know, it's really coming to Ring of Honor. Like I think that's one of the reasons why that's kept me a loyal fan of their product for all these years since the beginning. You know, there were times, you know, where I thought, you know, like, oh crap, what? Because there were times where the company was in jeopardy, you know, no longer, you know, be able to support themselves. And, you know, me being a loyal fan, you know, bit afraid and scared, you know, that Ring of Honor might not have lasted, but surely enough, they did last. And then they got the HDNet TV deal. I was excited for that, but that didn't really work through. So it's like, oh crap, it's like, you know, they're right frying pan and right back into another one. But now they've been, that is a new TV deal with Sinclair Broadcast Television. So I guess it's safe to say now that they're no longer an indie show because they'll be broadcasting their first show, which I was at in Chicago here on September 24th. So I really hope the best for Ring of Honor. I really think they need more publicity than what they've been getting from people, you know, who've only known them from going to their house shows and ordering their pay-per-views and, you know, swapping DVDs and whatnot. So these are just my couple of thoughts and opinions on not Ring of Honor, but just different indie wrestling shows and my opinions and thoughts of them, and then, you know, when I liked them or didn't like them, stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.